What would you do if the person who shattered your life came begging for your help to save theirs? I used to think family was unbreakable, a bond forged in blood and memories. I was wrong. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and my sister, Lila, was once my closest ally, confidant, my co-conspirator in childhood dreams. We grew up in a small house in Oregon, where the rain never stopped, and our parents' love was the only warmth we needed. Lila was the spark, the one who lit up rooms with her laughter and ambition. I was the steady one, the planner, the dreamer who wanted to build something lasting. I became a chef, pouring my soul into a restaurant I built from nothing. Lila, though, she wanted the spotlight. And she got it, at the cost of everything I held dear. 5 years ago, Lila was a rising star in the food critic world. Her blog, Taste of Truth, had a cult following. Restaurants lived or died by her words. I was proud of her, even when she teased me about my little kitchen and my cute dreams. I invited her to review my restaurant, Hearthstone, not because I needed her approval, but because I wanted to share my world with her. I cooked for her that night, pouring every ounce of my heart into the dishes. The next day, her review hit the internet like a guillotine. Pretentious. Overrated. A chef chasing trends instead of mastery. She didn't just critique my food, she tore apart my soul. The review went viral. Reservations dried up. Investors pulled out. Within 6 months, Hearthstone was gone, and so was my reputation. I tried to talk to her, to understand why. She shrugged, said it was just business, and that I should toughen up. She didn't apologize, didn't flinch. I moved back to our hometown, scraping by as a line cook, while Lila's star kept rising. I stopped answering her calls. I stopped calling her my sister. Blood doesn't mean loyalty. Last month, I got a letter. Not an email, not a text, a handwritten letter, the kind Lila used to send when we were kids. My hands shook as I opened it. She was sick. Leukemia. She needed a bone marrow transplant, and I was her only match. She begged me to come to Seattle, to the hospital where she was wasting away. "You're my last hope, Ethan," she wrote. "Please." I sat with that letter for days. I remembered her laugh, her teasing, the way she'd hug me after a fight. I remembered her betrayal, to the coldness in her eyes when she dismissed my pain. I drove to Seattle, not because I wanted to save her, but because I needed to see her face when I said no. The hospital was a maze of white walls and sterile air. Lila looked small in her bed, her once vibrant hair thin and dull. Her eyes lit up when she saw me, but I felt nothing. "Ethan," she whispered, "I knew you'd come." I didn't sit down. I stood by the door, arms crossed, and told her the truth. I wasn't there to help. I was there to close the door on her for good. She cried, pleaded, said she was sorry. She said she didn't mean to destroy me, that she was young and chasing fame, that she'd been pressured by her editor to make waves. I didn't care. Her words were too late, too hollow. I turned to leave, but a voice stopped me. "Mr. Caldwell, please." It was a nurse, older, with kind eyes and a clipboard. She introduced herself as Maria and asked if we could talk. In a quiet corner of the hospital, she told me something that cracked the armor I'd built around my heart. Lila hadn't just written that letter. She'd been fighting for me, behind the scenes, for years. After her review tanked my restaurant, she'd tried to make amends anonymously. She'd sent investors my way, pitched my name to colleagues, even written a glowing piece about a pop-up I'd done last year, under a pseudonym. I hadn't known. I'd assumed she'd moved on, untouched by guilt. Maria handed me a worn notebook. "She kept this," she said. "Read it." Inside were pages of Lila's handwriting, plans to rebuild my career, regrets, apologies she never sent. One entry hit me like a punch: "Ethan hates me, and he's right. I broke him. I'll spend my life fixing it, even if he never knows." I went back to Lila's room, the notebook heavy in my hands. She was asleep, her breathing shallow. I didn't wake her. I sat there, watching her, wrestling with the storm inside me. She wasn't the monster I'd made her out to be. She was human, flawed, desperate to make things right. But I wasn't ready to forgive. Not yet. The next day, I met with the doctor. The transplant was risky, but it could save her. I asked about the process, the pain, the recovery. I asked what would happen if I said no. "She'll likely die within months," he said, his voice steady but kind. I went home, the weight of that knowledge crushing me. I thought about our childhood, Lila stealing cookies from my plate, me teaching her to ride a bike, the nights we stayed up whispering about our dreams. I thought about the review, the months of humiliation, the dreams I'd buried. I thought about Maria's words, the notebook, the Lila I didn't know anymore. I called the hospital and told them I'd do it. Not because she deserved it, but because I didn't want to carry the guilt of letting her die. The procedure was grueling: days of tests, needles, pain that lingered in my bones. Lila survived. She's recovering now, slowly, her body fighting to reclaim itself. We don't talk much. She sends texts, leaves voicemails. I respond sometimes, short and guarded. Forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's a road, long and uneven, and I'm not sure where it leads. But I know this: I saved her life, not because she was my sister, but because I'm still human. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. I keep the notebook on my shelf, unopened. It's a reminder not of her betrayal, but of the complexity of love, of family, of what it means to let go without forgetting. Lila's review took my career, but it didn't take my heart. That's mine to keep, mine to rebuild. And I will, one dish at a time.